Hello and welcome to this episode of In the Bunch, the world's fastest cycling magazine show. And the cycling world, in fact, has been in South Africa of recent. UCI Mountain Bike World Cup at Stellenbosch saw the flying Kiwi, Sam Gaze, twice World Under-23 champion, beat the seemingly unbeatable Nino Schurter world champion at his own game.
Today was a crazy day. It was my first ever Elite World Cup win here in Stellenbosch. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. You know, I expect a lot of myself all the time, and I know that preparation's been perfect going into this for the last 3 months. Obviously, it's still a bit hard to get the grips of what happened today. It's not every day that something like this happens.
Tough weekend for the South Africans at Stellenbosch. In the women's race, Mariska Strauss, 28th out of 55 starters, rendering her the nearest of all the elite riders at this World Cup event.
It was a tough event, obviously, but I'm happy with how it went out. The goal at the end of the day was just kind of to leave everything out there, and I managed to do that. So, no, really happy.
We got to know the double Under-23 World Mountain Bike champion Sam Gaze on the opening edition of the Best Med Tour of Good Hope. That was 2016 when he came out, won one of the stages. The next stage, he thought he'd won at La Paris Estate, put his arms up in victory, and Reynard Butler slipped under his armpit to deny him that victory. And on that day, Clint Hendricks, the Cape Town Cycle Tour champion that year, got the third place. Gaze came out and won the Cape Town Cycle Tour mountain bike race a week before the big road race. Won the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup at Stellenbosch, was looking for a hat-trick of wins, but stopped by the most ubiquitous winner on South Africa's pro circuit, Nolan Hoffman, outsprinting him by just a little whisker to win the world's biggest individually timed cycle event.
And a final push here. Luca Mazzato has got to get himself out of a hole. Hoffman has got it. Nolan Hoffman has won the race for the third time in his career.
Going into the last 500 meters, I had Steve and Clint leading me out for the final sprint. I had a clear run for the finish, and I could do a really strong sprint. So yeah, third time winner of the Cape Town Cycle Tour now. Very happy, proud to have won the event again this year now. Incredible stuff, you know. Super proud of the boys.
The women's race contrarily was won by the Flying Democon team. A great season they had in 2017. 5 wins from Carla Ober, also winning all of the best med races of that year. She started off 2018 in the same way, winning the national title, Disc Game Ride for Sight and the Best Med Bergendale. Wheels came off a bit for her in the Best Med Tour of Good Hope. But on this occasion, the Mauritian champion team member of Democons, Kimberly Lecourt, too fast for the others after a great team workout.
I'm so happy. I can't believe it. I was looked after very well from the team, and I appreciate so much their help, and this wouldn't happen without them. Carla and Heidi did an amazing job. When I struggled to get on Carla's wheel, Heidi was plan B. I got onto her wheel and she helped me out, and yeah, I'm so thrilled I could pull it off at the finish for the team.
Bunch sprint for the line here. Skuman is having to work really hard. Who's it going to be here? Power on the outside, Mariska Mathieu, but it may well be a win for Team Democon. It is Team Democon, and it may be that they have taken the win here.
Superb win there for Kim Lecourt, but the 40th Take 2 renewal of the Cape Town Cycle Tour after the previous year got winded out was in fact a dark day for the race. After only 2 previous deaths in 40 years, this occasion no fewer than 3 people losing their lives on the world's biggest bike race. Another event to suffer the same tragic fate was in fact the Bergendale Classic, which saw Nino Appel, an SA rugby official, warming up outside the start area of the race, but not under the control of the race on that occasion, was hit by a hit-and-run driver just after 5 in the morning and unfortunately lost his life at the site. The driver, mercifully, has been apprehended and is in custody without bail. We look forward to a harsh trial for that driver because at least he should have stopped doing that. The race itself saw Reynard Butler repeat his Disc Game Ride for Sight win of the week before, and a fantastic result for this rider who was at the top of his form early in this year. The women's race saw a repeat result as well from the Disc Game Ride for Sight, this time Carla Ober also making it 3 in a row in 2018.
Today was one of the harder wins I had to work for. I really struggled after the climb, but somehow I recovered a little bit and we managed to put it off in the end.
Running the week preceding the Cape Town Cycle Tour is always the Best Med Tour of Good Hope, the 3rd renewal of this race. The inaugural winner, Steer van der Bod, was back out with his Dimension Data team. He won the race in the first year after a great time trial, repeated the time trial result the next year, Won it again this year, but the previous year it all went down to wobbly tactics in the final stage. This year the last stage saw a completely different picture.
Absolutely amazing. Kom ons klap vir hierdie man, absoluut amazingly Hanna daarso. 3 times winner of the time trial, inaugural winner of the Best Met Tour of Good Hope. Comes up now to sew up, certainly in the slowest possible means. The stage is going to give it to his teammate, but what a brilliant, brilliant ride. There he goes, he gives it to his teammate. Wins it in great style. Well done, boys. A fantastische rit daarso. Stefan de Bod wen die Tour.
Wonderful tactics there from the yellow jersey Stefan de Bod, coming to a standstill at the finish of the Taal Monument final stage. The reason for that, he was waiting for teammate Matteo Sobrero, who was going for the points overall title. That jersey being worn by Nolan Hoffman coming up the stage. If Sobrero could beat Hoffman there, he'd go home in the green jersey, and he did it. The King of the Mountains spotted jersey, die Bolletjiestrui as they call it in Flemish, that went to the defending champion. That was Kent Main. He won the title by 1 second last year. Overall, now the King of the Mountains. But the overall victory stayed and went with Stefan de Bod. We caught up with the Mayo Jean after the tour.
We were planning to have the yellow jersey after the time trial in stage 2. And yes, it worked out well. The team was really strong, and we just controlled the race from stage 2. And yeah, it was good to win the race. Okay, after Tour of Good Hope, then we had the August on Sunday, and Sunday night the whole team flew to Italy. So yes, so it's quite a change in the weather conditions, coming from nice summer and hot temperatures, and now it's riding in the snow and rain. I'm going to focus more on the tours a little bit later on. So Tour of the Under 23 Giro d'Italia and Tour of Alsace, and I'm also doing Tour of Britannia, which is good training for that before the Giro. And yes, I'll be hoping to do really well in the Under 23 Giro, and then obviously I want to get a good result in a few one-day races, the big one-day races in Italy.
The women's race saw Ariane Luthi, Swiss cyclist living in South Africa for many years now, and Cape Epic icon, come out to finally win a version of the Best Met Tour of Good Hope. 4 straight sets after going down in stage 1 to Vera Adrian saw her in the yellow jersey at the end.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really a great race. Thanks to all the ladies. It was super fair and very honest racing, so I really appreciate it, and it was a great fun with all those women to ride this tour.
TUEs, the latest buzzword in the world of international sport, but in fact growing discontent in Great Britain, in particular over Team Sky's use of therapeutic use exemptions. What that basically means is that your physician can prescribe a prohibited substance for the use in a controlled environment to an international competitive sportsman. Should these be allowed in sport, or shouldn't they? We find it very, very strange that 5 of the 6 last Tour de France titles, in fact, did go to asthmatics. And so we come to the hotspot in this episode, and in fact this time you can be seen in the bunch. That is in the bunch's technical cycle apparel range, comprising of a cycling jersey in Vento and Polyvent, cooler than naked side panels and sleeves, a pair of bib shorts with a gel insert to prolong your effort and to make them a heck of a lot more comfortable. Or flick right back to the retro days with your vintage style in the bunch cycling cap, or treat yourself just to a pair of cotton cycling socks with the in the bunch branding on. Ask your favorite dealer or retailer about this range of apparel, or go to our store and we'll refer you to the best. Well, it's official now that the South African National Mountain Bike Series of 2018 is unfortunately off. What the organizers promised us for 2019, 5 weekends of 2-day mountain bike action. We look forward to that one. Mountain bikers have always used disc brakes, or almost always for that matter. The old V-brakes have long gone. But their disc brakes are magnificent appliances on these mountain bikes. Now, Cycling South Africa have just this season decided to actually welcome the use of disc brakes on the road events at top level. The difference between the road and mountain bike brakes do seem to be the different hydraulic pipes, which are more spongy on the road bike, allowing a spongier application rather than the on-off switch, which happens on a mountain bike. Boso Boshoff, Director of Cycling South Africa's Road Commission, explains why this call was made.
Last year, the UCI didn't allow for us to, it was banned in all UCI categories, and then this year the management committee of the UCI has basically thrown it onto each federation and said it's up to them to decide whether they want to allow it or not. We decided that it's technology that's here to stay.
Taking a look as always at what's hot, what's not in the bunch.coza in the bronze medal position this week, the best med Tour of Good Hope and Stefan de Bod's magnificent victory. Twice now in 3 years he goes back to Italy in the maillot jaune. In second position, the silver medal, the Kiwi Sam Gaze, who beat the rainbow jerseyed Nino Schurter, albeit by this much, to win the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup at Stellenbosch. But topping the pops, the world's biggest bike race, the number one this week, the Cape Town Cycle Tour. Almost 40,000 entrants and a big victory for Nolan Hoffman on that occasion. If you'd like to comment to the show, please don't hesitate to do so now right below. If you've in fact enjoyed the show as much as what we've done doing it for you, do not hesitate to subscribe to the show and to tap the bell. It's Johnny Koen on behalf of Kutsia and the entire team saying ciao for now. But before I do so, I think I'm off for a refill of one of these.